I'm going to be showing you how to do the medium dice or Macedoine and the large dice or Parmentier cuts. Potatoes are really useful for this. So of course the first thing you want to do is make sure to peel your potato. Now make sure your cutting board is cleared up. You don't need to have potato peelings just lying around. These, however, are delicious if you fry them in a bit of oil and cover them in some salt. That's how my grandmother taught me how to make homemade potato chips. Now, it's very important that you always wash things after you peel them. That's why I had to step away. I hope you didn't miss me too bad. So now that you've washed your potato, you know, it might be a little slick. You can always dry it off with a paper towel if you feel you need to. Like I've said before, and I'm going to keep saying it again, you always need to make sure you're cutting from a flat surface. So the first thing you got to do is make sure that your potato has a flat surface for you to cut on. Now, for our Macedoine cut or regular dice, medium dice, that is 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch. So you need to take a look at the potato, get a feel for how big it looks, okay? So that's going to be about 1/4 inch right there. So cut it in half again, set it down on its side, and then you can measure out roughly 1/4 of an inch. You cut through and push it off, cut through and push it off, and do that all the way through the rest of your potatoes. Now, you've got your 1/4 inch thick slice. Now you need to make your pieces roughly 1/4 of an inch. So we're going to go through that and do that again. Then turn it, line them all up. Now you've still got 1/4 of an inch here. And remember, always have that knuckle out. You don't want any part of your fingertip going near where that knife blade is going to be. Don't try and move too fast until you've got it down. But as you can see right there, we've got a lovely Macedoine cut. So let's move on to the large dice or the Parmentier. Now that is 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. So we see here that we've got our potato that we need to cut into 1/2 inch. So you're going to go ahead and eyeball about 1/2 of an inch. Cut down through. It's a pretty large chunk of potato you're going to be cutting there. And again, you're going to be doing roughly 1/2 of an inch, unless you're working for a 5-star chef. And if you are, you probably don't need to be watching this. It doesn't have to be exact or perfect. It just has to be as close as it can be. So that way you have a rough idea of how things are going to cook. So you measure about 1/2 an inch and you go for that. You cut right on through, nice and easy. So we've got our 1/2 inch cube here. We've got our Parmentier, and you can take one of your Macedoine cubes and you can see that's just about double what you're going to be getting when you do your regular dice. So follow those rules, and any vegetables that you need for your soups or your stews or your sauces, they're going to be cut up just fine. Have a good one and safe slicing.